Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Black women telling a black man he doesn't have his stuff together. Man, that was a mouthful. Wow. But you know what? I had to address that issue, right? Because I've had, every now and then I get some commenters who say that to me, in the comment section. Some people hit me up with it privately. And quite frankly, I've been hearing it most of my adult life. And the usual narrative is that, black women are out here doing this, that, and the third. And then, come back and talk about what the collective black man isn't doing. Which, hey, you know what, there's strong arguments for it. But this issue is really when a woman comes to an individual black man and saying, it's basically some bullshit unless she knows everything about that man. Because you got some men out here, you get some women, they got like some little putt-putt car, right? They living in some questionable neighborhood, or not even in a house, but in some basement apartment or something like that. Not to say there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just giving y'all the contrast. And then they'll tell a brother who got his own house and probably got 3 or 4 houses, got a late model car, got a gainfully employed. Oh, he need to get his stuff together. The arrogance astounds me, because what it is many black women, they hold black men to, or they have what I call a reverse apex fallacy. So, they'll hold the guys walking around with their pants off their ass, being trifling, not doing anything, is like the epitome of black men. But then when they encounter some dude who does have his shit together, because, I said stuff to be nice for YouTube, but who does have his shit together and got all that material stuff, and is probably, by Western standards, more accomplished than she is, she'll try to break him down or something, say, well, he don't have his stuff together, or before they even get to know him. You know what, when I first, I talked about this pamphlet that kind of got me started in relationship, this whole relationship industry, which was geared towards women, called Finding a Good Man, right? And one of the things I told, and this was geared towards black women, I'll say one of the things I said was, to me, black women don't really get to know a man. They make assumptions about him. And another gentleman I worked with back then, and this was a gentleman who was putting out like relationship surveys, right? So I was helping him with it, so that's why I was getting a lot of information. And he said, with too many black women, they making an assumption about a man before getting to know him and finding out what he's about. In fact, I got a video I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get more into that thing, right? I'm gonna hit another angle with that. But right now, though, just for the purposes of this video, many black women make that assumption. They go into a meeting, they see a brother, and they already assuming some shit. Like, how many brothers who know they don't have any children, they get some woman, they meet that woman, and the woman's like, well, how many kids you got? And the dude's like, none. So they immediately, you got some women thinking something wrong with the dude. I'm like, the dude be like, well, hold up, I'm not married, and I don't want to have any kids unless I'm married. But they already making that assumption. Or they assuming that the brother ain't got it together. I'm like, based on what? Like, based on fucking what? Like, you can tell, like, they think they can tell just by how somebody dressed or something what they got going on. You don't know. And like I said, I'm gonna address this tomorrow. I'm gonna address this issue tomorrow in a different way. But the whole thing The whole thing of thinking some man or some black man doesn't have his shit together is really bullshit. It's like you gotta, it's just like women. Black women don't want men to assume the worst about them, and that's fair, without getting to know them. But then the same black women turn around and do the same with black men. And you just like, well, wait a minute, hold up, baby, hold up. Like I remember I had this woman, and it was like back in the day. I think I mentioned this in one video and shit, because it's like one of those things that stuck with me. I don't know. I got so many things in different places. I don't know where I said stuff, but this was back before people were able to upload pictures and stuff, and we're talking on the phone. We met somehow or another and got each other's phone numbers, and that's how it was back in the day. The older cats remember. Right, so I'm talking to this woman, and she was like, well, do you have an earring or tattoos? And I was like, no. And all of a sudden she didn't want to talk to me anymore, and I'm just like, well, hold up. And I'm thinking about, okay, it's like we vibing and shit, but then just because I don't have some tattoo or earring or something, it's too many assumptions made. And then, and of course all of that leads to that whole, well, black men don't have his shit together, or or it goes in there with like black men haven't built or anything like that. And then it's almost when a woman does meet that brother who does have his shit together, he's good on his job, he got some extra shit going on some property, probably played a sax, playing a jazz band, got a publishing company on the side, got a lot of brothers are talented. You get the woman, she act like he don't exist because it goes against her internal narrative. Her narrative is, I got all my stuff together. These brothers need to get their shit together. Like I use the example. Insecure is coming back. Like that brother. I remember that brother Lawrence in the show. He said, "Yeah, I got my shit together for Issa, right?" And yeah, honestly, he was just. I mean, he wanted to do some stuff, but he was kind of dragging his feet. He wasn't hustling enough. And I think that resonated with a lot of women because they feel like, hey, I'm carrying a man. I would submit this. I think because many women have a personal narrative that, some black man ain't shit. And we can get into all of that even on a bigger level. But they so busy have that personal narrative that black men ain't shit that they will go out and find one who ain't doing anything instead of doing with the one who is. That's how deep it is. If you feel, see, I'm gonna throw out a deep term. It's called moral order programming. And moral order programming is what you think things should be. Like moral order programming says, if you see a very tall woman with a very short man, there's something wrong with that picture. Or if you see somebody put ketchup on their rice, there's something wrong with that picture, right? Or if you see a homeless person and you find out they have a home and it's a mansion, there's something wrong with that picture. Anything. See, we have an idea, and this is all people, really. You have an idea of how things should be. And then when you see something and it goes against that, your mind either has some cognitive dissonance, which means it's like it can't really, the reality, what the mind is thinking and what the reality presented doesn't match up, which can actually cause some problems. Or, I lost my train of thought for a second. Look, I'll get back into it. I'll remember what I said in a few minutes probably. But I was talking about the cognitive dissonance, right? Because of moral order programming, people think some should be a certain way, right? Now, you have many women who feel like, oh, black men don't have their shit together. So they can't see the man who actually does. He might not appear. In fact, I'm going to tell you how deep that thing is. That man could literally be standing in front of him and something in her mind would say, this isn't real. In fact, that article I mentioned about successful black men and the shortage of good black women, I saw several comments and even got several comments. Because sometimes I would just like check for it on the internet and I would read what other people saying without them, knowing that I'm reading the comments. And you had several women say, well, that man doesn't exist. Oh, that's not real. So then if you present a man who actually has those things, they will find some reason to break it down. And in fact, they wouldn't be able to deal. They wouldn't know what to do with it, And I mean, it's some deep stuff. But, I would just say this. I don't want to go too long. Just want to throw this out there. You just have, when women are telling these men they don't have their shit together, it really hurts them unless they know for sure. Unless they taking time to speak with that man, because many women make that decision right away and they base it on some superficial things. Unless they know for sure, they can't really say that. And it really hurts them. And it hurts them, kind of annoys the man. Because let's be real, you work hard for some shit and you got somebody who you looking at who might not have what you have, trying to tell you you don't have your shit together. I mean, that's going to annoy anybody. Like, who the fuck are you to talk? Anyway, that's it for this one. Hey, why don't y'all do me this solid? Check out Ron Wills about that business. Go ahead and sub and check out the video I have over there today. I'm talking about System D. Yeah, I need to know what System D is. That's only a few people know about what generally it is, but many people haven't heard that term. So check that shit out. Anyway, that's it for today. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.